I, of course, heard tell of creatures. Demons who stalk the nights. Fairy tales. Mere stories buried deep in dusty books. But even when faced with the truth, the doctor in me only had more questions. What did it mean for me? For my new home? For my family? Drink was my father's vice, not mine. Or so I thought. Be careful, I was warned. Demons are hereditary.
To another awesome game showcase here at IndieX 2023. My name is Patricia and I'm here today with Laura and Arseniy to talk about this spooky kinda game called Cabernet. Hello guys, how are you today?
We're great. Thanks for having us. Happy to be here and to talk about our game, Cabernet. Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. So, who are you guys and what's your role on Cabernet?
Who are we? It's a loaded question. Well, we're co-founders of Party for Introverts. That's pretty much just us. But we do work with a bunch of other nice people, contractors, without which it wouldn't be possible to make what we're making. I'm more on the write-in, programming, and sound side. Laura is more on.
And I'm the art director, also producers. We're both producers by trade, actually, and art direction as well as voice acting. So I'm also the voice for the main character of Liza.
Mm-hmm. And design and kind of story editing is between the two of us. So we're just doing everything we can at the same time, which is difficult.
Your voice was quite familiar in the way you said like Lisa, the ending of the words and the way you smile when you are saying them. Yeah, good job on voicing the main character. Yeah.
I was originally a theater producer, and obviously have done acting in my time. So just transferring all those skills into now making video games with Arseniy. So get to use all those things still.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really fun. That's really sweet. And well, how long have you guys been working on Cabernet?
I mean, this question has more answers than
Sorry.
you might think, but basically, we started a long time ago. In some ways, we even made a prototype a long time ago, which actually kind of is not that far away mechanically from what it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I don't know, maybe let's say 6 years ago this happened. But for us, this hasn't really been a game till the moment when we figured out how to connect emotionally to it, because we did always want to make a game about vampires, but we didn't want to just make a game for the sake of it being about vampires. And when we found this angle of emotional connection via alcoholism and social and personal corruption, it kind of clicked. So a couple years ago, we started properly.
Yeah, we started our company in earnest, Party for Introverts, although we had made a couple projects before then, but decided to kind of embark on this full time and to make our first full-length game, kind of still with the emotional themes in mind that have carried on from all of our projects.
But have you guys done like small games before, or was everything like theater and other stuff not really game related?
Well, for me, it was always game related. I used to be a producer at some big companies, but this was always our passion, and we were making small emotional stories in our spare time. And even though they were 15-minute games, it was a thing in itself, a lozenge, and from head to toe, there are 3 games that we made. But even then, it was really difficult because making games is not super easy, and that took a lot from us.
But yeah, we've been making games since around 2015 and on the side just to kind of explore our passion always for it. As he mentioned, he's always been a video game producer, but that was kind of my first foray into it. And yeah, all of our games kind of go around themes of relationships, whether that be like familiar relationships or romantic relationships or friend relationships. And so a big part of Cabernet is kind of exploring the dynamics of people around you, and also, family matters. We talked about kind of the whole theme is alcoholism as a metaphor, for vampirism, and how that extends into kind of both society as well as like family issues.
Yeah. I can see that in the game. I've played a bit already, and I can totally see what you mean. But let's show everyone. Let's go to the game and give everyone a chance to see how Cabernet looks and sounds. And well, let's dive into the game. So the game is called Cabernet. This is a type of red wine, I believe. I'm not a wine person.
Red wine as well to celebrate.
Yeah.
So.
Cheers.
Okay. Oh, you guys have red wine there with you? Oh, you do.
Yeah, we've come prepared.
Yeah, I have my tea too. I don't know.
We can pretend it's Cabernet.
So let's begin our story. So this is our main character, Liza. And so, where are you guys from, by the way?
So I'm from the States originally, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a little north of there. And then we've been living in London, though. So we're both now officially British. And we've been developing our games all here in the UK.
It's been a long time since we're here. We're both, local at this point.
Yeah, okay. Just give me 1 second. Okay.
I never thought I would bury my own daughter. My
So,
own blood.
we are starting the game, and the main character is like already dead.
Yeah.
And
Wrap it up now.
Yeah, go ahead. You want to talk about the start of the game? I mean, is it?
And our demo is actually live, obviously, right now for everyone to wish list, and it's fully voiced. We can't hear it right now, but the game is fully voiced. And we start at the funeral of the main character.
Please say something.
And we thought that this was an interesting way to, start the character's story, but also to kind of put that little bit of RPG element and customization in terms of the skills you have at the beginning through a eulogy. So talking about, who this person was when she was alive to her family members.
We kind of wanted to introduce.
I won't dwell on
it's
the
very complicated in
circumstances of her
terms of
tragic
how
death
the
today.
genre works out for this game. It's not super simple to explain because there are elements from
Instead,
strong elements from RPG,
I'd like us to
visual
celebrate her
novel,
life.
adventure.
Despite
And
her obvious calling
a lot
for
of times
medicine,
when people would see, say,
when she was
this,
little,
like a UI
I always thought
or
she would
dialogue, they
become-
would just assume that this is kind of your run-of-the-mill visual novel in terms of mechanics, and it's not. So we wanted to kind of explain straight away that there are things that you do that can affect your stats, that can change the outcome of a story, to introduce branch in from like mechanical perspective. And this was a way for us to kind of go into this without
a famous writer.
I don't know, just like
You should have heard how she
a
could
standard
spin a
RPG. Like, here's your face, here's your put some numbers in there.
Yeah, this I don't recall any game that I've played. Well, at first, starting dead. I don't recall many games where we start already dead, already in a game over situation. That it's not the case here. Here is like the beginning of the journey. But we have these questions. Sorry.
No, sorry, I interrupt.
No, go ahead. I want to hear what you're going to say.
That it was a bit of a challenge with
She used to tell
the
me her
vampire
own
subject,
fairy tales
because
when she was a young girl.
I mean, people who play this game will most likely know already that it's a vampire game.
The
so it's not a
creatures she
spoiler.
made up,
But at the same
the
time, we
stories
wanted
she
to
told
start the
me.
story where the character doesn't know
Classic
about it,
ballads were no
and we
match
didn't
for
want
them.
to go around for too long without
Such a
her
bright
being
girl.
unaware of her
Always
condition.
a
At
top
the same time, we
student.
didn't want it to be
Always the pride of
too
her mother.
abrupt, to kind of
Parents.
remove the element
time
of
she graduated.
confusion and shock from this. So we kind of tried to pace it in the right way. Hopefully, it worked out.
Yeah, so as you can see, you're choosing
Lisa knew
between
everything
kind
there
of
was to learn from
different,
books
different,
about
little,
science,
essentially different stories
lightning
that your
age,
uncle
Yeah.
can tell. And it was really important to actually start with Lisa's family.
laws
We
of
decided
physics,
because
human
that's
anatomy,
quite a big
chemical solutions. you
actual
name it.
aspect of kind of emotional exploration as you go on. So you get to meet
Every
a little,
time she
learn
went
a little
on
bit about
about
her family
this
and what kind of
scientist or that
dynamics she
discovery,
had with them
She'd
before
light
she
up like a
passed.
matchstick.
Yeah,
Most of the
and
time I
you
couldn't
get to
understand a
choose
word,
some stats. You may or
but I just
may
nodded
not
along
be
and
aware that you are
mused at
actually
how bright our
choosing
glow was.
stats, but yeah, you can start with, I don't know, your backstory, choosing your backstory, like in an RPG, in a paper RPG, like start from the beginning, right? Doing that, and
I can't tell you
I
how
think
proud
this
we all
is
were
really
when she
cool
was accepted at the medical
because we
academy.
haven't seen the full character yet. We don't really know yet what this is all about, but we
I had no doubt that she was destined for greatness.
She is her
To
own
become
person and
a
has her own
doctor,
story, and she
one of the
always
first
comes
women to
in
achieve
as
that
kind
in
of
the whole
essentially
country.
a recent medical graduate.
If someone
So
deserved
that is
that
who she
honor,
is, but
it
she
was
has
our
interests
Lisa.
outside of that. Trying to make her a bit of a more
Magnus was
rounded
so
person
much
based
more than a
upon
gifted
the
student.
skills you pick right now or what you choose to pursue in the game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so she's that's another way to show she's not a
With
complete
all of
blank
her other
slate
talents,
for the
above
character.
everything
So
else,
you
she
do
was a
have
true
plenty of
and
agency
loyal
over
friend.
how she will
She
accept her
connected with people easily.
post
She
life,
cared
but
deeply
Yeah.
that her life already happened. So
Some
there are
might even
certain
say
things
too
about
much.
her that will remain static.
After
Yeah,
all,
and it's
she
important
wasn't
because
too
we get to know
She
that
was
she was liked,
tremendous.
she was loved, she was a person with things she liked and things she did,
But I
and
digress.
well, she does
Please
not start
forgive
like a vampire right away.
done
She
is
starts
done.
like with she was a human, with
Full acting talents of Mike as Uncle Miko in the background a little bit. If you play the demo, it'll be really clear and you won't have
That was
us
my
talking
favorite
over it.
place.
But he does some pretty
Let us
lovely
raise a
work
glass
to
to
start
her.
out the game.
yeah,
It was
everyone.
also like a
Sorry,
last minute.
go ahead.
It's kind of like a last minute audition for this, and we're so happy.
Pour some
We got-
vodka for
we got
Gorda,
to
too.
get Mike Smith, I
He
believe.
is old enough to send his sister
His name.
off.
Because people can actually go to your Steam page and see who are the voice actors for some characters. I know I did. So
Yeah, so I guess you get a little bit of a
Yeah,
little bit of a
exclusive.
spoiler exclusive, but there are a group of voice actors who've already been announced, and yeah, we've been announcing them on our Twitter. Well, I guess
A
our
piece of my
page
soul
as well as
went
Steam.
into the ground with
Yeah,
her today.
there's still a
As
lot
I'm sure
coming,
did many of
and
those.
there are still plenty of characters
Mhm.
who we didn't even show in the demo. So
Let those pieces
Yeah.
help Lisa,
hopefully
wherever she is now.
we will enjoy it.
To Lisa.
and we at the beginning we already know that our dear brother has already passed away. We don't know why or how. And
Brother Kolya is standing by. He just hasn't given a speech.
Yeah.
At the funeral.
He's younger.
Yeah, the uncle says, let's Kolya join in. So he tells Kolya, even though he's young,
Drink
have a
with the
drink
drink,
with all
yeah.
of us.
oh, I thought he was
No,
was-
he says, give Kolya a glass of vodka too. So he's joining.
Oh my god.
When I was
So
a
yeah,
little
I
girl,
was totally making a story
I
up on
often
my
had
head. I
trouble
thought he was
falling
dead.
asleep.
Sorry.
In check, and you'll
Yeah.
obviously learn more as the game
My mother
progresses.
used to
But this
sing
is
me
obviously
this
only the first
lullaby to
little
comfort
tidbit
me.
this demo.
Tonight, I slept deeper than I had in my entire life.
And now we can hear you both at this interview and at the game. Arseniy, do you give voice to any character?
I had a
There
disturbing
is a
dream that
little
string
cameo
was coming out
there,
of my
but
mouth.
I hope it's a placeholder. I hope we're gonna actually
started
replace it with
pulling
somebody
it.
who can act.
I
So
realized
yeah,
that it
you
came
might,
from
whoever
all
plays
the way
this
down
version
my
of the
throat,
demo might get the
buried somewhere
exclusive version of
deeper
Arseny's
below.
acting debut. And if he had his way,
But
his
I couldn't
only
go too quickly for
acting
fear of
job.
burning myself with friction.
You did a good job.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Finally,
See.
the whole string was out. I
It's
felt
about,
relieved,
filling in the
but
world now. So we're really excited about the
Also,
people we've cast. But
I
obviously,
realized that
it's
I
a
was in my
little
bed
kind of
with my mother
composed
sitting
world that
beside
we have
me.
to fill in. So
I didn't know
it's
why
exciting
she was
because I
in
really
tears.
love directing, doing voice acting
But I knew
directing.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
The first chapter, which is the demo, is very straightforward in terms of you do make choices, and they do have consequences and stuff. But
Yes.
the following chapters are going to be much more open world. So we call it semi-open
Mom?
world. There's limited amount of places you can go. It's not like you're exploring a planet or
Oh, yeah.
anything. But yeah.
And now we get to meet Liza, the main character, for the first time.
Yeah, we just woke up somewhere, not exactly where we were expected to be, or even waking up at all, but we just woke up.
So
And
obviously,
do you want to talk a little bit about the game, your inspirations? Why did you decide to do it like this? You talked a bit about it already. You said you always wanted to do a vampire game.
I tell this story often, but my grandmother who raised me, she was always very worried about me because I was super interested in vampires to the point where she believed
Why
it's
would
not
anyone
normal.
keep something
And
like this?
yeah, this is, I guess, a manifestation of my obsession. So yeah, always wanted to do it, but never got
My
kind of a
medical
chance to
journal from the
explore this
academy,
properly.
and
And
my
this
family
is
medallion. Who could have
such a
brought
gift
this
that
here?
we got a possibility to do this full time. This is basically our dream project to work on for many different reasons, but yeah, it's very exciting for us.
So what you're telling us is that all your expertise from all those years is finally paying off,
For us for a long time.
yeah, getting to make something that we are passionate about the story, and we obviously make projects as producers of brilliant other people, but to finally be able to bring our vision to life was quite fun and quite specific. As you see, it's quite a particular art style. It's kind
really
of
pretty.
Thank you. We work with quite a few really talented artists.
Yeah.
And I would say that it definitely has an inspiration. It's vaguely Slavic. The whole game definitely inspired by Eastern European folklore. Although the actual country we talk about, we joke that it's like a Genovia. Like in the Princess Diaries, if anyone's in the Princess Diaries.
Yeah.
So inspired, but not a particular place. But we've drawn from a lot of different kind of folklore and cultural aspects from different countries, and so the style is kind of vaguely based upon general like Eastern European kind of animation from the earlier 20th century.
Yeah, but it's mixed with clearly like Western. More
help. I'm stuck here.
I don't want to say Disney, but something like more fairy tale-y Western animation. And
Anyone.
yeah, we also wanted to kind of juxtapose us a little bit because it is, you mentioned it's a little bit spooky. I wouldn't call it a straight up horror game or anything, but there are definitely some elements of it and some violence and like a little bit of creepy atmosphere kind of works in correlation with this art style that is a little more pretty and cute in a way.
Yeah, I agree with you. The game doesn't really come off like really scary and stuff, like a horror game, but there's a certain unease, a certain creepiness going about it that just, well, it makes you wonder what's happening.
It's more of an internal horror,
Yeah.
Existential horror.
Are you still there?
we found ourselves locked in a room, and we are trying to leave.
Maybe
Mhm.
you can't talk?
And she hears
He's
a
knocked
kind of
twice, I
presence,
guess,
we'll
and
call it,
once
on the
Mhm.
other side who's communicating with Knox.
Thank goodness. Can you help me open the door?
So we are trying to leave this room,
Thank you.
and we will be leaving very very soon. And so this game, if you had to tell everyone what's so special about this game, what makes this game different from everyone,
Will you help
what
me?
would you say?
Well, I guess I don't know if that's about difference
What isn't
necessarily,
working
but
wonderful?
we as a company have a pillar of making emotion-driven games. So
I'm not
specifically
wealthy, but
titles that are connected to personal feelings,
I
to
don't have much,
story,
but
to
I can
connecting
owe
with
you a favor.
the person on the other side emotionally.
Yeah.
And this was our main goal. We always wanted
And
to
it's
make
settled.
games, but
Whoever
we
you are, do
have
you
a
hear
chance
me?
here to make a game that connects with us and hopefully the audience as well. A lot
If
of
you
people like
open this door,
vampires, as do we,
I
and combining those two things seem to be actually not too frequently done. A lot of times, vampire games tend to be action and
Yeah.
kind of about. We have no action-based violence in the game, so every
I can't see
every
anything
drop
from
of
this
blood that's
angle.
gonna happen is on
I should
account
check
of
up on it later.
story or players' decisions rather than them attacking somebody.
It makes it a lot more intentional, how you choose to play the game,
And
essentially.
a lot of it is about the morality system
What
as
have I
well.
gotten
So
myself
that's
into?
another thing that we were deeply engaged in. So that's, you make decisions as a player that affect your character and affect the branches that you're going to be able to unlock or not be able to access. And the big thing for us is that those things exist separately. So as you can see here,
Yeah.
we have a bar for nihilism and we have a bar for humanity on the left side.
And
Yeah.
that'll come up again pretty soon in the
Yeah.
game, actually. So right now we're assigning skill points on the right side. So this is where you can kind of decide what kind of knowledge path you want to take, more or less, or have great
Yeah.
ability in. So you can decide whatever you'd like to give it to: science, history, literature, music.
So, and this will impact things that I can choose throughout my adventure, right?
Will impact, different dialogue choices. It may impact who you're able to befriend, because some people
Yeah,
have
which
different,
definitely.
different things that they enjoy.
I'd recommend to put it elsewhere, by the way, because I know something that
Elsewhere. So, where do you recommend I put my points? Because I would totally go with politics. Vampires are like all about families and rules and stuff. So I would totally go that way because
it's a
Like,
smart
It
choice.
should have been her choice, but we already know now. So,
Yeah, so-
you anywhere you want, honestly. You get to play it, the way that you choose to play
that's
it.
true. It's not.
yeah, I would go with a little bit of politics and a little bit more of writing, probably, because, yeah, you're a vampire. You're supposed to be, have a lot of knowledge. You had like a long time to get some knowledge, hopefully, right? And
Definitely a part of it, yeah.
yeah, so this is our character stats. Basically, it's at the moment it's just this. It will impact our decisions and stuff. We have quests, we have a calendar, we have relationships that we don't know anything about yet. Yeah, so let's move a little bit, and well, our vampire rank just increased. There were
Done.
yeah, we know she doesn't know yet, but yeah.
Can anybody hear me?
Oh, Liza. So there were some people in the chat saying that they love how you guys are like sipping wine throughout this whole process, not like vampiresque at all, like not like
I feel when you're playing a game like this, it'll become even more apparent soon.
Yes.
Why why we feel compelled. But hopefully we'll get
Ah,
there.
see, this is what we were talking about. So, if I were a more artsy person, I would be able to study something, but like if I have a bit of history, so I can totally examine and gain experience points. So, this is how do we often gain experience points in this game? Is
Well, it depends obviously on the scenario, so on the specific thing that you're doing. But generally speaking, when you complete tasks from quests and when you use your abilities to a point where
Mhm.
Smells
you
like
deserve
death here.
deserve. The
There's
short
no
answer is when we
way.
think you deserve points, you get them.
I could
But
live
yeah,
in this world.
skills, and it obviously the points help you build your skills as well.
Yeah.
So I would recommend taking the options if you can, if you want to learn a little bit more.
Self-sustaining
Yeah.
economy.
yeah, I'm taking the money. No one is going to need
After
it
all that's
anyway.
happened, I
But-
think I deserve
That's what she
this.
thinks. Yeah, she's been through a bit.
Yeah, we may need it. We never know. Oh, but something happened.
Something did happen. It's not really great to take money from places that you don't belong to.
But also to be clear, so we have nihilism points, which we don't consider. It's not good
Yeah.
or bad.
It's not an
It's
evil choice you
It's
made.
more. It's just more chaotic. For example, taking the coin is just a little bit more chaotic. Maybe it's not.
So I would say,
bad,
yeah, I would
but-
say it's like a selfish
The mirror is
slash
covered by a
chaotic,
sheet.
and then the
Mhm.
other bar
People
would
only
be
do that when
altruistic
someone dies.
and compassionate.
Yeah, we call it humanity and nihilism to
Mother
be a
explained
little.
that this is so the
Yeah.
dead soul does not get lost. Silly superstition.
You get to choose like a path where you keep being as human as you can, and another path that totally diverges from that. So
The main distinguishment for us though is that you don't, in a lot of games, and there's very very valid reason why you tend to have one bar and then scales up or down depending
can't see
on
myself.
what you choose. Say if you chose to help somebody, it increases, and then if you did something bad, it decreases. And that's not necessarily how we felt life works, because both your chaotic, selfish and altruistic decisions, they all stay with you, they all have impact.
Very.
And in our
Yeah.
case, you don't choose one of those paths, you always work towards the both, and it's
hard
up to
say
you
without
how
seeing
you
your
do it
face
throughout
about
the game.
stress.
Yeah.
Could it be the
You can
same
exponent,
from the
keep
first
gaining in both of those levels,
Yeah.
both humanity and nihilism. And in that way, there might be some selections or some options or some paths
This
down the
is-
way that, you might have multiple options of what you can
Yeah.
choose.
I'm a
yeah,
doctor.
because both realities can coexist within
I just
you
need
at
to
some
look straight
point.
ahead.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they do.
Give
Yeah.
me strength.
So that was really important to us, not to just have that singular bar, as he mentioned.
What in
Yeah,
the
and
heavens is
that
all
makes a
this?
difference, because it's not about being good or bad. It's about being
I
As
will
you
make
make
sense of
and
this
how
later.
you live with those choices and what you do based on
Something
those
is
choices,
wrong.
how you choose to live.
My
Yeah.
head is
Especially
and-
when you're a vampire and you have all this, eternity in front of you.
yeah, and how heavy those choices weight on you, if they do weight, if you don't really care.
That's right, because there's some decisions that
I
are
feel
very,
the force.
you might not even know when you're choosing it, that there could be a consequence later, or, it might not be something more extreme, about balance and figuring out your own kind of moral compass.
Miss, are you all right?
And we
Mind your own business.
have just arrived at the
It's
party.
rude to stare at
Yeah.
me.
You're
Sorry.
speaking with none other but Petia and Lisa, voiced by brilliant Brian David Gilbert, and
I know it's
Samantha
not
Beard,
ideal, Countess Orlova,
who
but I'm afraid there's
lended
not much
their
we can do at this
beautiful
point.
voices for
Of
our
course,
story.
now there bloody isn't. The right time to act was last.
So
And we'll be
I don't
announcing more
understand
people,
where
so we
this
won't
influx
say all
of
the
product
others,
is
but
coming
those
from.
two, as he mentioned,
It's
are already
undercutting our
free and
prices.
out.
Where were you when I?
yeah, we like I said
Who is
before,
this creature?
those who are watching this can
Yeah,
totally go on the
you look
Steam
like a
page
little
and learn a
dinosaur.
little bit more about who is
Come over
voicing
here.
who.
I don't bite.
And well, that's
Hello?
So
Awesome.
Samantha, well, we'll talk more about them when we hit up their characters later if we have time, because we'll circle around to the
Yeah.
characters.
I'm Liza.
You must be the doctor's new apprentice.
oh, so now we get a hint of something. I mean, Doctor's New Apprentice. Do you guys want to lift the veil a little bit about that, or let's just stay for everyone to learn? I don't know.
A bit of both. So yeah, there's definitely more you'll
Look at
discover
you, poor
because
thing.
Liza
You must
herself
be
doesn't
fresh out of the
actually.
ground,
We'll get to that in the
excuse me?
story probably. She doesn't
Ugh,
remember exactly how
nobody
she
must
was
have
turned,
actually inducted you.
and that's quite usual
How
for
typical.
a young vamp.
No surprise with
Is
the men around
explained to
here.
her.
She
And
was not supposed to
It's
wait.
better to essentially learn as she
I'd
goes a
love
little
to
bit
catch
more and
you
more
up, dear, but
details.
sadly I have
Yeah.
some
You'll
urgent
eventually get
business
to
attend
meet,
to.
who turned
Thanks.
you, and as the story progresses, learn more about that experience.
Cassava,
But yeah, as
be a
she mentioned,
darling and
as
show
we've
this
mentioned,
young lady
Liza is
around when
already
she's
kind of
decent.
she's a graduate
As you
of
wish,
the
madam.
medical school, as
If
you
you'll
would
excuse
have
me,
seen in the
I'll go for a
prologue.
smoke on the balcony.
And so
Can I find you
essentially,
there?
yeah, what
You're
you can think about what
excused.
her connection might be to a doctor, as a doctor's apprentice in this new life.
Mhm.
If I recall my first day correctly,
Yeah,
your
and-
head must be
So
killing
yeah,
you.
you're meeting the Countess right now.
Yeah, one of the
Here,
pivotal
drink
characters in the
this.
story.
Thank you.
And she hands us a cup of a glass of.
May I ask what
The liquid.
this is?
If you know
And
too
she's-
much, you'll grow old sooner. Trust me, it will lift your spirit.
Well, let's drink it.
Mm. Whatever this is, it's beyond
Um,
delicious.
Yeah,
It's sweet.
this
and
here
elegant.
you're experiencing
Tastes
a
like
tiny
cherry
bug, which
and
I hope is
wild
fixed in the
strawberries.
new version. We did see some streamers with
Thank you.
it working properly.
do
but
Just would have a more glowy
Oh.
background when she's drinking, but
Ah,
demo.
it's totally fine. The ambience is perfect, and she's like describing.
Now
But it
go
was a bug,
change.
to be totally
You'll be
honest.
gallivanting
Yeah.
around in those scrubs. There is a nice dress about your size.
Thank you kindly, madam.
And Madam.
Remember? Ooh.
I think it was Orlova because I don't remember weird names. Weird for me, I mean. So let's go with Orlova.
You're welcome, child.
Ah,
Now off you
Good
go.
job.
Change and
Look at
mingle.
that. You got a better
Time
relationship
is
with
money.
her. You could have lost some relationship points. So you obviously as well have relationship points with a lot of the characters that you'll interact with.
you can keep track of them obviously in here. Yeah, I think you're on the second page right now. No?
Yep, there she is.
oh,
Yeah.
oh,
So not enough to be more than neutral, but it did raise a little bit. So now you have a couple characters you can look at. So
hmm.
the more characters you meet, the more will pop up.
So
So now she mentioned we're going to the cloakroom to change.
Countess is sending me.
Oh, this is a narrative RPG, so this is the beginning, and we are learning the stuff and
Leather cloth on
learning
here.
our skills.
Something bad must have happened.
Subtle mechanics that
Strange.
even
This
we as
mirror doesn't work
developers
either.
don't really think too much sometimes till the moment when they need to be implemented, and it turns
Yeah.
out it's a whole thing. So I've gained so much
That should do
respect
it,
for
hopefully.
UI programmers and just generally the discipline of UI. Even though I worked with specifically like big AAA UI
Goodness,
teams before, when you
this
do it
must be the
firsthand, you
dress the
just
Countess
kind of
was
have a
talking
completely
about.
different
Such an
feeling about
ornate
all this.
Western
So yeah,
style.
this is one of the mechanics with
I want
dresses
nothing more than to change out of this
that
horrible.
will allow you to customize the character a little bit throughout the game. So here,
This is why he mentioned. So if you look on the right side of the effects, so where it says evening dress, you get more politics. So
Yeah.
that's why he revealed
as a
to
free
you
gift,
that
yeah.
there's a little bit of a free gift of politics later. That would help.
Ah, this
But-
is what you're talking about. I find this really cool. I mean, the dress gives me automatically more history and politics, and clothing giving me stats. It's not what I would expect in a game like this. I would obviously expect it in an RPG, but the game can be, quite, mysterious and deceiving at first glance because you wouldn't imagine right away that it would be an RPG. You get stats already, and you get to wonder, but now you have gear that changes your scores. I find that really nice.
Perfect.
Oh, thank you. I think that
That's
was
what
really
they
important to
want.
us is that, we mentioned we're big story people. So the mechanics that we
Countess
implemented at the
has
end, I would
excellent
say,
other
they're fun. They can be very
circumstances.
fun, but also at the
I'd
same time for us, we were thinking about what can make the story stronger.
Yeah.
So, things like that, just having different outfits.
I
We
still
thought of
don't
it
know
from
what's
more of a
happening
social
here.
perspective.
Or at
That,
least I hope
some
it is.
characters,
But
will
delaying the
appreciate an
inevitable is
outfit that
just
would give you
tying my
politics
stomach in
more if that's
knots.
their interest. So
I
kind of
need
more
to
of a
find that
social
young man.
aspect rather than just like, straight up points is why we did that, I would say.
Yeah, it was also quite important to give the
Please
player a
tell
little
me
more
yours.
agency than some other projects of similar scope. So we wanted to make sure that the
Good
player
evening,
has,
Hussar.
I don't know, stuff to do besides just kind of clicking through the text.
Yeah.
And like Laura said, it's important that it supports the
there's our
story,
belle of
so
the
it
ball.
reinforces the
Liza, right? You actually don't
emotional
look half bad when
moments
you're
that
not covered in
we
graveyard dirt.
thought are important. Like, when you put on a dress, this does make you feel
Graveyard
different.
dirt?
This does make you
First
project
Yeah.
a different
yes,
persona
now
in a
you.
way. And this is one of those manifestations. There is a reason why that's
Why is
happening. Not
everyone going on about
mechanic.
funerals?
Makes sense. Different quoting for different context. I don't know about the others, but I'm sure it will.
Surely an educated
It will
lady
make
like
sense
me
as
would
well.
have
Now
put
we are
together who we
we
by
are
now,
talking with
haven't you?
Asar, and he's going to explain new things.
Or is he?
Well, yeah. He's a little more or less a little bit like your introductory guide in this first
I'd
chapter,
rather
which
not
is
guess.
definitely a little bit more
Please,
conversation heavy
just tell
Simply
as you
we
kind
are
of just
vampires.
learn the ropes at the beginning.
And we also get to know that there is a mechanic in the game related to the time passing, right? Because we just spent a bit of our game. Do you guys want to talk a little bit more about it? Of that? Will that
Yeah.
impact heavily on the story?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Is this my
The
happy reflection of
actions
you?
are quite important here
If
because
that's what you're
they
concerned about, you look just
kind
fine.
of structure your days and let the player understand what
Does
time is, which
this
may be
mean
difficult
I'm
for
dead?
both people and especially
Dead,
vampires.
alive. Trust me,
We didn't
Liza.
want to make it
Just one
I don't even
real time.
remember how
I
it happened.
toyed around with this idea for a minute, but it felt a bit too stressful to constantly keep the watch on time as it goes on. So we decided to
That actually
just make
does
certain
happen
actions
quite a bit.
consume
That
action
memory usually
points.
comes
So
back
it's a
soon
little more of
enough.
a board game feel in this way, where you have a limited amount of things
Yeah.
that you can do per day, and then you just live with your choices of what you did or didn't do.
And it's not as obvious in this chapter, since it's more of an introductory chapter, but once you get to the more semi-open world aspect, later on, it'll be pretty clear that most days how it'll work is you'll have like these three
Must be
actions.
some sort of a defense
And you
mechanism
can
that
use them however
suppresses
you want,
traumatic experience.
unless there's a particular event, that's
What about
triggered
my
that day.
family?
And
Yeah.
that's,
When I
you have
I was
different things you
worried
can
the
do,
last time.
which we may or may not see,
Technically,
depending on
they
how much
think
time
you
we
are
have,
dead,
read
and it's
books or
Beth,
do
it's
things to
true,
increase
too.
skills or to have conversations with
Can't
people
just
to further
leave them
their,
like this.
character
They
quests.
have to
Yeah,
know
and
I'm not
relationships.
dead.
This is too
Exactly. Yeah. That which is really important to us. We have a lot of
I
characters
have
with
so
very
many
different
sayings.
personalities
is
and
not
different kind of
forte.
stories in
Why
the
don't
kind
you
of
go
society
to your...
that
After that, I
they're
can show you
telling.
what it's
So you'll meet some of
suppose I
them
could do
actually very
that.
soon right now.
Could you at least
Um,
tell me a little
as we say, she's asking, can you tell me about the people?
Where is your spirit of adventure?
And soon he's gonna,
And here you unlocked
you unlocked
branch,
politics, so he can tell you a bit about them.
Yeah. So more points lead you to more points. It's nice. And a little bit before in the conversation, I had unlocked something about mirrors because probably I had uncovered them, right?
Open the
What
mirror.
is it?
So if you would, I believe if
Yeah.
you, because you opened the mirror, if you wouldn't have
Yeah.
opened the mirror, that would have been locked.
So what we do does matter a lot
Well
in
played.
next conversations and next moments in the game.
Not
Yeah.
everyone
It
gets
can.
to do
It can,
that.
yeah. So it was important to us. There is a specific story we want to tell. So players will have a very particular general narrative
That's Elisa.
focus, but how they
She's
interact
quite
and who they
important
choose,
to
who they want to
What
interact
could you
with,
tell me about
and how your
You must
story
admit,
ends
that broad has
can
been
depend
around
on a lot of these
forever.
factors
Yeah.
that you
What about the
choose
young
right
man?
now.
It's just
Oh, you must mean Petya.
it's a
He's
deep
just a human.
conversation about what is a meaningful choice. We
Yeah.
certainly believe the
Elisa
choices
brought
that
him
we
in for
put
fun.
into the game are
He is
definitely
such a
meaningful to
cop.
us by our standards. There are some players that expect certain
That sounds
universe
cool.
kind of choices, right? So like, they bring you to completely different scenes and completely different stories.
Don't be like
I don't
that. It's all
necessarily
in good
think that it's
fun.
always necessary, because if
I
you're
suppose
making
that's
choices in
everyone's
life,
round
for
to
example,
besides
arguably
me.
not all of
Of
them lead
course.
you
All right.
to be
No
in
rush.
Australia next day or something like that, But still, if you go out and have a conversation with your friend, there's a good chance that it's gonna matter, and those choices are
Yeah.
gonna be remembered and are gonna affect your future conversations, future relationships, etc. So yeah, there are a lot of subtle
I
ways
do
in which
actually
we
have a bottle
spin the
right here with
story,
me.
but it's important to
I
remember
always
that
carry
it's not
Matilda with me, just in case a good opportunity
you're
strikes.
not going
You
to be
never
able
know.
to
Look
rebuild the
into her
whole
eyes. Doesn't she
universe
look
based on
alive to
this.
you?
There is a
Like she's
specific
Yeah.
narrative that we want to convey,
Yeah.
which is important to us.
But we're pretty sure
Yes.
there's no, obviously
Well,
still in development. There'll be
apologies.
characters that you won't be
Petya.
able to befriend
Petya.
fully on one
We
playthrough,
should probably
Yes.
and there are
discuss some
certainly different
urgent
endings.
business with
Oh,
the
yeah.
We
campus.
definitely know what the endings are,
Oh.
and
Oh.
you
Oh,
won't
in
be
fact,
able to
I'd love to
access
meet
them.
her as-
Depending on what your choices are. Essentially, there'll be some you can, some you might not. As we mentioned, we have those
I don't know
humanity
how,
and
but
nihilism
I can
bars,
just
and
sense
figuring
there
out
is
the
no
right
one.
mix, and what choices you made in the game will impact that.
But will your relationship level with characters move on to the next playthrough you do, or will it...
No, so I mean, I understand there's like a lot of games have like pluses and stuff in their
Yeah.
things. Currently, that's not the plan, because again, the important thing is about how you spend your time in the playthrough. And so the idea is if maybe you only can befriend 3 characters, and you don't have to befriend any. You can choose to befriend literally 0 if
Yeah.
you want. We think that wouldn't enrich your experience, but you could. But you won't be able to meet and befriend
hello.
everyone just because
It's
of
you, Lady in the Night.
limits and time constraints and character constraints. So definitely there'll be somebody that
How are you
would be really
feeling?
interesting to
I
you.
was really
Probably
worried.
we think that a second playthrough
Yeah.
will be needed, as well as a different ending, because the endings are quite different. As much as the main story is pretty similar, the endings are quite different.
Yeah, the relationship part actually does affect it quite a lot, because there is kind of a general storyline of it, and then there is the classic paradigm of side quests as in most RPGs, right? And
Yeah.
those
Much
side quests
better.
in our game are
Thank you.
often tightly related
I'm
to
Liza, by the
specific
way.
people, specific characters in the game. And even if, say, you have a
Of course. Where are my
more or less
manners? I'm
same
Petya.
world outcome, the relationship
pleasure.
with this person
Yeah.
and the consequences that it had on this person's life may be very
You're the
different.
only one
So
who seemed to care
in a way, there
about
are a
my-
lot of different ways to
my
affect the
illness.
end.
Yeah.
It just depends on what you care
Yeah.
about.
Because there's different endings for the
Oh,
main
nonsense.
quest,
They
we'll
are a
call it. There's
lovely
different
bunch around
endings
here,
for
just
each character
all very
that
busy.
you
Oh, I
choose to
see.
befriend. So it's kind of thinking about the mixture of things and how your choices kind of shape your overall experience, is what he's saying. Yeah. And this is lovely Petya. I love
Nope, I'm
Petya.
pitching my dolls too.
Yeah.
And again, this is
Running off
who
for urgent
Brian David
business.
Gilbert voices.
That's right.
So he's in Fiona and Cake. He's in a lot of other like
Did
really
you
cool
say
projects
selling
that we love.
Yeah, oh,
Um,
not to mention that he's a
And
very
making them,
popular
yes.
YouTuber.
Yes.
Oh, I
makes
didn't know
Amazing
that.
deep
content.
dives on the gaming culture.
Yeah,
I
So
see
definitely
you
watch some
have
of his
one
stuff.
with you.
Funny and creepy
May I
videos
take a
that
look?
just
Of
fit
course.
perfectly within
Matilda
the story
here
that's
is my
wanted to tell
favorite.
for Petya.
I'd love to get some honest
yeah,
feedback.
We're so excited we got to
Yeah.
work with him.
So yeah, Petya is a doll maker,
Well,
as you can see from his little creation in his hand.
Yeah, so here you can you can choose what
Yeah.
to say.
So I'm going with the paladin route, but we...
Oh, it's just lovely. So
Oh.
detailed and human-like. She reminds me of the one I had when I was a little girl.
And what? So I saw you picked. You did pick like more paladin routes, as you said with him. You actually didn't gain a lot of relationship points with him.
Because you don't want to hurt Petya. You don't want to...
Petya's a sweetheart. I love
Unless
Petya.
you do.
Unless I guess you can, but that's what the point is that you might want to think about who you're talking to, and some characters might appreciate certain answers more than others.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not really about kind of trying to adjust to the character necessarily. It's
My
more
father
about
always
what
called this
you
foolishness,
want to role
among
play
other
in a way,
things.
Yeah.
right?
Because again, there's so many characters. You might
That
decide
it's
if you
not
want to.
manly work.
You might not want to
Sorry,
befriend the Hussar
right
because he's a
now.
little bit more
I
chaotic.
do have a feeling
If
that
you're
I'm onto
playing,
something
the
with Matilda.
altruistic, more
Just
so
wait.
route.
So there are a lot of different choices, a lot of different relationships. Although this is not really a I'm going to marry with everyone type of game relationship. So it's refreshing in that way. You get to get. Okay, sorry.
Marry everyone.
No.
You're correct in what you're saying. But there are different potentially depending on the
Cat
character
tells
you're
me that
interacting
tonight
with,
is
there
going
might be
to bring
different ending
something
options, as
special.
you mentioned.
And it's never.
And
And-
we've already
and there
announced there's a couple romance
and there are
options.
romance.
Oh,
Light
that's
romance,
possible.
yeah.
The lovely young woman in the yellow dress.
That are very story driven. They make more sense with the particular
She
characters.
saw me at the town market.
It's not that you can just romance
Yeah.
anybody
She
in
said
the
that
game.
people
That's
might
actually
find
not
it
that's not
interesting
super
to see.
interesting to us. Although
didn't have to ask
those
me
games
to
are really
see.
fun. I play them
How
too,
is
but
the
at the same
jingle?
I'll
time,
admit,
it's more
it's
important
a
that
little
you think about
slow,
like what
but
the
the night is
character
still young.
themselves, who they are, and could this even be a possible
are an
potential path for
optimistic
them?
guy.
So it's
It's-
not
My
every
mother
character.
used
It's
to
if I
say
could
pretty,
that
Yeah.
it's a
hope will
pretty
be the death
specific
of me.
community for dating sims, and it was important for us that it's clear that we're not stepping on anybody's expectations of what
Yeah.
a dating sim
What's
is.
the
So it's
point?
not
Flip,
it's
you
not a
may be
dating
right
sim.
about that.
That being said,
Yeah.
you
At
can
least
you can be in a relationship.
best
with a
luck with
couple
everything,
characters.
Thank you.
No,
That it
but
makes
that's the
sense for
best
in
part.
those
It
characters.
doesn't need to be a dating sim. You can have
And that's not our intention with this game. This game is about particular character stories that are happening, which can just be incredible friendships or incredible animosity if you choose to
I prefer
play it in
to
that
stick
way.
no drinks
Fun
around
fact:
here.
this character,
If you really want to try some
the
decent
the
Cabernet,
guy
stop
in the
by my
green
salon
suit,
on the main street.
he's voiced by Ben Potter, but it's not his main role in the game. So that's a
Just helped us.
small,
He helped us out with a little bit
Yeah.
of background character
that
stuff.
small tease of his wonderful voice acting. Ben Potter is also a wonderful YouTuber and a friend of ours, and so again, everybody we worked with was just unbelievable. We never expected that we're gonna get these people.
That's the thing,
we basically
right?
got most people we
Mhm.
wanted.
You make a lot of friends and you get to meet a lot of people along the way in a game in every game, I suppose, and especially such a voiced one. You get to meet a lot of awesome people and new people in
for
your
sure.
life. It must be a really cool experience for you guys
It is. It
while you are
is.
producing a game.
Yeah,
It's very cool. And we have, as I mentioned, a lot of, we have some friends who are voicing characters. Our wonderful friend who's not announced yet voices this character you're standing by, Arben, who's one of my favorite characters. And then to the right, the lady in the yellow dress is voiced by the talented Samantha, who was Karlach in Baldur's Gate.
and
Oh!
Arseniy in Excavation of Hobbs Barrow.
With all due
So
respect.
she has some very
Russian
impressive
roulette just
titles
seems
behind
like,
her back.
too much.
Haven't tried that game yet, but it's on my wish list, the excavation.
Be on your merry way.
It's we know we're very lucky to know quite a few people in the indie scene in the UK and beyond, and Cloak and Dagger games are fantastic guys. We're excited to we always see them at Adventure X, like another convention that is is a great one. And of course we're looking forward to meet new people at IndieX. This is going to be super fun. We've never been to Portugal either. So
I
it's
know.
gonna be
So we're
cool.
looking forward to branching out and meeting even more indie devs or just devs in general.
You guys are coming here next month?
Yeah,
We are. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. We are totally going to meet, hopefully.
Oh, if you're going to be there, absolutely. Well, we will make a meetup, have a glass of Cabernet.
Yeah.
Again. Maybe we'll do Portugal wine, not Cabernet.
Oh, you're in for a treat. Believe it. You're going to be in Porto. Yeah.
Very, very excited.
Yeah, I figured that should have a decent selection.
Yeah.
Oh. So, someone was asking in the chat when this game will be released.
It's 2024. There is a particular general month we have in mind, but we're not allowed to say it yet for marketing purposes. Sorry about we can't divulge too much more.
It's totally okay.
Yeah, 2024.
And no. Well, unfortunately, guys, we are at the end of our time. We still had so much to play and so many mechanics, character mechanics to show everyone.
there's bat shifting that happens actually quite soon, which is a fan favorite. So if you download the demo, please wishlist it. But you can also be a bat for a little bit of time, which is quite a fun little vampire trick.
Yeah. So,
There's
guys,
more to come for sure.
we are at that time of the year, you know, creepy games and stuff, spooky games. So there's a demo available from this game from Cabernet. You should totally try it. Wishlist this game. And well, I have already. By the way, I have finished the entire demo already. I
Hey.
loved
I
it.
Oh,
I
thank
really
you.
enjoy my point and clicks, and I thought the team was, you know, deep and meaningful. She makes some different choices along the way. You know, we can make and lead the game in different ways, and I find that intriguing and something that, well, everyone can try for themselves because the demo is available. Guys, there are only a few minutes available, so if you want to take this chance to say something to the community, go ahead.
But just thank you, honestly. I mean, again, it's so rewarding to see people playing the game, to see, you know, the wish list setting up. That does help a lot, by the way. Thank you so much for this. And you know, it's a dream to make a game you want to make, and we really do.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoy it when it's
Yeah.
coming out.
Thank you. Do please play. We're looking forward to hearing, you know, all your thoughts about it. And definitely, if you want, follow us on Twitter/X. We have TikTok. So, and then obviously Steam. Yeah, you can follow our community on Steam as well as, you know, hopefully downloading our free demo right now.
Yeah. I would totally take that chance. I mean, this is a nice journey to embark on, I believe, and it's awesomely voiced by everyone, including Laura and Arseniy. He didn't get to tell us what was the character he was voicing, but but yeah.
Yeah,
So,
fully voiced for the first time. By the way, we had this demo for a brief time before, I think in August, and now it's the first time when it actually has some wonderful actors that we mentioned and beyond. So yeah, please check it out.
Thank you.
yeah. Thank you for being here. We will meet you shortly next month
Yeah,
at
very
Meo
excited.
Xizel in Porto. And I hope everyone gets to play your game then. And well, good luck. Good luck, guys. And for everyone who is watching us right now, stay tuned. We have one more game in IndieX 2023. It's almost at an end. But well, you have one more game to enjoy. So stay tuned and see you in a moment. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I, of course, heard tell of creatures, demons, who stalk the nights. Fairy tales, mere stories buried deep in dusty books. But even when faced with the truth, the doctor in me only had more questions. What did it mean for me? For my new home? For my family? Drink was my father's vice, not mine. Or so I thought. Be careful, I was warned. Demons are hereditary.
Thank you.